Today we're going to cook up some chicken breast in a red wine sauce. We have some Portabella mushrooms, which I have one right here. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to cut that up. Portabella mushrooms are really nice. They cook up nice. They have great flavor. I'm going to cut them just in half. So I cut them in slices. I cut the slices in half. So you can see they're like that. That looks like a lot, but that does cook down a little bit. So I'm going to do a little bit more on another one. Don't have to worry about having too much because I know they'll be fine in there. Really, it's just we're gonna have Portabella mushrooms and we have some garlic in there. So we have some Portabella mushrooms cut. And I have some cloves of garlic, 2 cloves of garlic right here. I'm going to do that. I normally will just smash the garlic with my knife on the side like that. It helps it to peel. Should peel it pretty easy. This garlic does have some imperfections on it. Where the stem was. It's got a little imperfection there. I'm going to trim that off and take a look at it, you know. So I have like a good 1.5 cloves of garlic. And then we're just going to smash it again. Smash it down so when you cut it, it doesn't roll around. See, it keeps it flat, then it just lets you put your knife on there just like that. You don't always have to have minced garlic. It depends what your dish is. Sometimes I just do chopped. I've done sliced garlic in some dishes. It's really good. Depends on what I'm doing. So it's 2 cloves of garlic. Cuts up pretty quick. And that looks good. Okay. So now I'm going to prep some chicken up. Let's see if I can mix this up here. Just have some chicken that I have. It's already kind of prepped up, but I'm going to cut it into some slices. So I have slices like that. I'll show you like that. So nothing complicated here. So we just have chicken, Portabella mushrooms, and some garlic right now. And I do have some beef stock, and I have some pasta, and it's fresh pasta. I'm going to get a pot going and show you how we cook that. Okay, to saute the chicken, we have to flour it. So I like to just use like a paper plate so I can just throw it away when I'm done. And I get some flour on the plate, not a lot, maybe a few tablespoons of flour. We don't just want to leave it just as plain flour though. We're going to put some salt and pepper on there. I'm going to crack some pepper in there, put some salt in there, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon, mix it up. You don't want to have just plain flour, you want to season it up for this dish. Okay, and then we flour the chicken up. You know, when I'm cooking at home, I usually will put a glove on to do this and keep my hands clean. So I just throw the chicken right on there and flour it up, mix it up. You can do this a little bit ahead of time while you get your pan warming up, while you get your pan on, getting hot. Move it off to the side. So we flour the chicken up. I do have a pot of water on the stove to cook pasta as well. And obviously that's not complicated cooking pasta, but the chicken is all floured up. Okay, so get a pan on, get it hot, put some oil in there. I'm using olive oil here. And I can see that that's getting hot pretty quick. So you want hot oil or hotter oil. You can always test it. Put a little thing in, see if you get a little sizzle going. So crank it up for a minute. We're going to put our chicken in. Chicken's all floured up. Pan is hot, which is good. And I just throw the seasoned flour, what's left of that flour away because it had raw chicken in it, so it doesn't make much sense to keep it. Chicken's cooking pretty fast, I can see it. Yep. You just want the chicken to start to brown up a little bit. I just start to look. I see which chip pieces look like they should be flipped first. Some might be a little bit thinner than the others. Some might look like they're cooking quicker than the others. And sometimes you know where your hot spots are in your pan. And then you just go accordingly. This chicken's browning up now. I can see it. Browning up quite nice. I like that. So far, nothing complicated, you know. We have chicken, we floured it, we're sauteing it in oil. We have a portabella mushroom prepped up, we have some garlic. Browning up quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to get the garlic in there so we can get down in the pan and start to brown up a little bit. And I'm going to try to move this camera away a little bit because I do have to put some stuff in there. So. We're going to put the portabella mushrooms right on top. Now we're going to add some wine. I have red wine here. I have a Cabernet Sauvignon. So I also have some beef broth that I'm going to put in there. We're going to crack some black pepper. I like pepper in there. And we're going to crank this up a little bit. We're going to let this cook down. We try to get those mushrooms cooked. Let that chicken finish cooking. And at the same time, we're going to cook some pasta. Crank this up. It smells fantastic. And as it cooks down, it'll get a little bit thicker, and it will also get deeper in flavor. Because as everything reduces down, everything becomes stronger. This is going at a pretty good clip. So I'm going to cook this down for a few minutes. I'm going to turn the camera off and get some pasta going. I'll show you what it looks like. Just want to show you what else I keep on, what I just made actually, but I like to keep it on hand. I keep it in my fridge. I make a little more at a time, but I just want to show you here. I melted down a teaspoon of butter, and I put like a teaspoon of flour in it as well, and I mixed it together on a low heat. That's called a roux. Used for thickening sauces. I like to put a little bit in here so I don't have to reduce it all the way, so I have extra sauce. So as this gets close down, always add your roux to something when it's boiling. So I'm going to still let this cook down and let it reduce a little bit. Red wine doesn't get too thick by itself like that with the beef broth, but this roux, I'll put a little roux in at the end, and it'll help to thicken that up. Okay, so I have some water going for my pasta. Right now it's just water. I'm going to put some salt in there. And this is my own pasta that I make. And this is a nest. I make my pasta and I put it right into the freezer, and I put it out in individual portions, so I pull it out as I need it and cook it as I need it. This is one portion. I'm going to put that right into the water. We're going to cook that for about 4 to 5 minutes, right from frozen. Okay, so this sauce is starting to thicken up a little bit for this chicken in the red wine sauce. Just getting a little bit thick. The mushrooms have cooked down. The chicken is done. The smell is great. But it's still just a little thin. Let's see if I can show you. It just pours out like that. So I want to make that sauce a little bit thick. So I'm going to take my roux, just that little bit of roux, and I'm going to put like half of it in. And it's boiling. You want it to be hot and boiling when you put roux in like that. Okay. We're going to get that down in there. We're going to mix it up. And this will help to thicken that sauce up. It's working already, I can see it. You know, there are different kinds of roux. Sometimes when people make a gravy, they'll do a roux with flour and water. And if you're doing certain sauces, some people like to use cornstarch and water. But the whole thing is, this stuff has to be hot for this to go in. See, now that thickened it up quite nice. I can just reduce that heat down until my pasta's done. And as soon as the pasta's done, we can plate this. I'll show you what it looks like in a moment. Okay, so the pasta's done. I just drained it off. I'm going to put some into the bowl. Like that. Fresh pasta is great. Easy to make. Cooks up nice. I put it right in the freezer. After I make it like that, it works very well. So I have that. I have the chicken in the sauce. And it's so good. That's it. There you have it. So you have chicken in a red wine sauce with some homemade pasta. And I hope you like the recipe. And keep an eye out. I'll have more recipes coming. You can also check out my website at www.cookies.com.